In a stunning turn of events, it appears that the head of Secret Service has now stepped down. And this is only stunning for one reason: that she was given the opportunity to step down, that she wasn't demanded to do so and removed from her post for how heavily she fumbled the bag by allowing an assassin to get within the perimeter that is supposed to be secured by the Secret Service and take a shot at Donald Trump. Of course, we have a myriad of questions about this and how this could have possibly unfolded, and the possible ties behind the scenes of what could have led to allowing this to happen. But don't you worry, we'll be covering that in the future. What we will be covering in this moment, though, would be the absolute disaster of what Secret Service had delivered upon us, because what we can see is there were actually a litany of different complaints previously, before this event had even taken place, by the Trump campaign and his security. And what did we see? Well, this article truly says it all. Secret Service said to have denied requests for more security at Trump's events. Top officials repeatedly rejected requests from Trump's security detail for more manpower and gear at events before assassination attempt, at times citing lack of resources, people familiar with the asks had said. Isn't that remarkable? Donald Trump denied additional security and protection for many of his different events, and as we saw, it led to a bullet nearly pulling the front of his scalp out the back of his noggin. The thing that I think is so genuinely interesting about this is how this dovetails into the understanding of what the Biden campaign has done with RFK Jr. as well. As we saw, when RFK Jr. announced that he was going to be launching his campaign into that of the 2024 presidential election cycle, what did we see? The Biden campaign came forward and said what? No, you in fact will not be receiving Secret Service protection. Isn't that just remarkable? Of course, RFK Jr. and his family specifically being very much aligned with that of political violence within the United States' history, so you would think it quite interesting that the Biden administration would go out of its way to say no, you will not be given Secret Service protection, even after RFK Jr. had requested it numerous times. And if you're someone within the Kennedy family, let's be completely honest, if you were to consider the nature of the conspiracies that roam around the landscape itself, you very well may yourself be concerned about having Secret Service protect you, because how do you know it is that in the end they are actually even protecting you? As we saw, in many ways, they very well may not have actually been protecting Donald Trump. Many questions to be asked surrounding that. But you know what also leaves me to ask many questions? The fact that apparently there was this speculated threat of an assassination attempt upon Donald Trump. And who would be responsible for this? Well, it would be Iran, you see. U.S. officials have gathered an increasing amount of intel about Iran plotting to assassinate Trump. Iran has for years plotted to get back at Trump for killing top Iranian General Qasem Soleimani in 2020, and the threat is increasing. Ah, yes, it must be Iran. That has to be the great threat to the presidential candidate of the United States. It couldn't possibly be the deep state, the intel communities, and that of the donor class itself. No, it must be this foreign entity abroad. It could never be those manipulating the upper echelon of the political establishment within the United States itself. That's absurd. How could you ever actually consider that? Anyways, what we were talking about with the fact of this possibility of Iran being brought forward as the front runner for who could be responsible for this attempt on Donald Trump's life, well, what you would need to realize is that because of the rumors going around with the possibility of an assassination attempt upon Donald Trump at the hands of Iran, apparently his security was ramped up in mass. But apparently it simply wasn't enough. Here we see from the BBC, Trump's security boosted weeks ago over Iranian plot to kill him. That's right. Isn't that just remarkable? Of course, with Iran coming forward and blasting the idea that they would be responsible for this assassination attempt, claiming that they never even had the idea of trying to do such a thing. Genuinely fascinating to see how this all unfolds. You would certainly expect Iran to say that they were not responsible, even if they were. But the thing that I find most fascinating about all of this when it comes to the assassination attempt on Donald Trump would be what? Well, there are many videos of those within the intelligence community and the media class claiming that the government or the intel community or those within the donor class are going to want this man dead. And when they say this man dead, they of course mean Donald Trump.
Let me give you one bottom line. As a former government official, government's going to kill this guy.
And the donor class can't just sit back on the sidelines and say, oh, well, don't worry, this will all work itself out. They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump. And that's a fact.
You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you.
Now, I don't know about you, but I find that quite interesting from Chuck Schumer, because he is the most powerful and influential senator in the entirety of the Democrat Party. And not only that, but the entirety of the Senate itself. And what we can realize is that he is someone who's openly claiming to Rachel Maddow candidly on her show that if you mess with the intelligence communities, they have 6 ways to Sunday of getting back at you, meaning they can do whatever they want, whenever they want, and we have no control over them. And what does that mean? It means that you are not governed by those who you put into power, akin to Chuck Schumer. It means you are governed by those who manipulate the levers of power. And that is the important thing to realize here, is what we're seeing play out in the current day, as well as what we saw previously with the assassination of John F. Kennedy and Robert F. Kennedy. Well, this is the dynamics of power. This is not simply about democratic politics. This is about those who are influencing the scales, and what we will see come about in the future will only be that of tyranny if we do not tackle this problem in the current day and do so with efficiency. Because this festering virus will only grow within the host even more than we've already seen, and the infection very well may overtake us to the point where we will be unrecoverable. That is an important thing to consider, and if that is the case, then what you can understand is that this possibility for a candidate getting into a position of power that very well had the capacity to, let's say, reassert power dynamics and shift that of the standards of what it is that the average individual operates under, well, that will be entirely and completely torn asunder if what we see is that of the intelligence communities and that of centralized power run amok be the one who is to come out on top of this narrative and be the ones who end up winning out in this power differential that will be playing out in the next decade. It's going to be a fascinating tale, and most certainly one that everyone's going to need to buckle up for. I've been saying for quite some time that, my friends, it's most certainly going to get worse before it gets better, and it's only just now starting to get worse, and I promise you it's going to get a lot more hectic. So buckle up, make sure you're taking care of yourself, make sure you're taking care of your loved ones. I'm gonna go ahead and call it there. Thank you for watching. If you got this far, thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. Tell me where I'm wrong in the comment section down below. Stay lovely, stay great, and most importantly, as always, go tell someone you love them. Peace out.